When Michael Jackson stepped onto the Motown 25 stage on March 25, 1983, wearing that sparkling black jacket and single white glove, he wasn't just performing Billie Jean. He was introducing the world to a visual language that would define pop culture for decades, debuting the moonwalk dance move that would become as iconic as the glove itself. But behind every shimmer and shine lay carefully guarded secrets, ingenious inventions, and deeply personal struggles that transform simple clothing into legendary artifacts. The man who made these costumes possible wasn't Michael alone. For 25 years, from 1984 until his death in 2009, costume designers Michael Bush and Dennis Tompkins worked as his creative partners, understanding that Jackson's clothes had to perform as hard as he did. Bush recalls they had to be like his second skin, wearable art that amplified both his dancing style and the music's rhythm. The duo first met Jackson while working on Disney's Captain EO film in 1986, beginning a partnership that would revolutionize stage costume design. But before Bush and Tompkins, there was Bill Whitten, the designer who created Michael's stage looks from the early 1970s through the 1984 Victory Tour. Whitten designed what would become the most recognizable accessory in entertainment history, the rhinestone sequin glove. That glove reveals Michael's design philosophy perfectly. "Everyone wears two gloves," Jackson told Bush years later. "I'll wear one and make them pay attention." It was pure Michael Jackson logic, taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary through subtraction rather than addition. Michael had actually been experimenting with jeweled gloves since 1979 during the Destiny Tour. But that Motown 25 performance made the single white glove his trademark. What the audience didn't know was that this fashion choice served a dual purpose. According to actress Cicely Tyson, who shared a fashion designer with Jackson in the 1980s, the glove helped conceal the early signs of vitiligo on his hand. The glove was to camouflage it, she explained. That's how that glove came into being. Jackson himself publicly maintained that the glove was purely aesthetic. "I felt that one glove was cool," he said. "Wearing two gloves seems so ordinary. The eye goes to where the white is." This contradiction between public persona and private reality would define many of Jackson's most famous looks. These pieces carry staggering financial value that reflects their cultural impact. In 2009, the original Motown 25 sequined glove sold at auction for $420,000 to Hong Kong businessman Hoffman Ma, who called it the holy grail of Jackson memorabilia. But that's nothing compared to what happened with the Thriller jacket. The candy apple red leather jacket with black stripes and raised shoulders was designed by Deborah Nadoolman Landis for the 1983 Thriller video. Landis, who was married to the video's director John Landis, had a specific vision. "It was the 80s, and I really felt like I wanted to build out his body. He was not a very big person. I like to say he was 99 pounds wringing wet." At the time of Thriller's release, Jackson weighed just 99 pounds with a 26-inch waist. Only 2 authentic Thriller jackets were ever made for the production. In 2011, one sold for $1.8 million to collector Milton Verrett. Later, at a separate 2012 auction of Bush and Tompkins' collection, Lady Gaga acquired 55 pieces of Michael's wardrobe, including multiple jackets and his Swarovski-encrusted crystal glove, calling them the greatest pieces of rock and roll memorabilia in history. But Jackson's most technically ambitious costume might have been the light-up Thriller jacket, created for his 1988 Bad Tour. This engineering marvel contained 11,000 light bulbs that would illuminate remotely during performances, pulsating to the song's beat. Michael didn't want to be the one that turned on the switch, Bush recalled. That wouldn't have been magic. The technical innovation in Jackson's wardrobe extended far beyond lighting effects. His famous anti-gravity lean from the Smooth Criminal video led to one of the most unusual patents in entertainment history. The move was first performed using wires in the 1987 video, but Jackson wanted to recreate it live on stage. Working with Bush and Tompkins, Jackson developed special shoes with heel slots that could hook onto pegs emerging from the stage floor. On June 29, 1992, they filed for a patent titled Method and Means for Creating Anti-Gravity Illusion, which was granted on October 26, 1993. The shoes allowed Jackson to lean forward at impossible angles during live performances. However, the system wasn't foolproof. During a 1996 concert in Moscow, one of the heels came loose from its peg, sending Jackson flying across the stage as gravity took its revenge. Despite this malfunction, the anti-gravity shoes remained part of his live performances, representing Jackson's relentless pursuit of the impossible. The craftsmanship of Jackson's costumes often bordered on the absurd. The This Is It Billie Jean outfit was embedded with between 300,000 and 3 million Swarovski crystals woven throughout the jacket and pants. During the Dangerous World Tour from 1992 to 1993, Jackson debuted some of his most elaborate crystal-studded pieces, setting the stage for even more extravagant designs. For the History Tour, Jackson wore custom shin guards plated with 18-karat gold. The bullion crest he wore during Billie Jean performances was crafted from 18-karat gold and sterling silver because, as Bush explained, Michael believed that silver photographed differently than chrome, and silver weighed a lot less, which made it more danceable. Jackson's attention to detail extended to pieces the public never saw. Bush and Tompkins once spent 6 weeks creating a sterling silver crown encrusted with costume stones and pearls for Jackson to wear privately at Neverland. In place of where the second star of Africa sits in the imperial state crown, they sandblasted an imitation diamond with the image of Michael's dancing feet. Years later, his children asked the designers to create a matching regal robe for their father to wear on Father's Day. The designers had to account for Jackson's intense performance style. The Beat It jackets took particularly brutal punishment. It was really beat, so to speak, Bush recalled. Michael gave his Beat It jackets a whipping on stage, taking them off and slamming them to the stage and stomping on them as he danced. After each show, Jackson would tell his team, "You'll need to fix my zippers tonight." Among Jackson's many idiosyncrasies was his refusal to wear the same item of clothing in public twice. This meant his design team constantly created new versions of his signature looks. They followed what Bush called the 4 F's in dressing Michael Jackson: fit, function, fun, and first. Jackson's design philosophy was rebellious by nature. "If fashion says it's forbidden, I'm going to do it," he wrote in his autobiography Moonwalk. This extended to details as simple as his white socks, which his brothers constantly mocked. "My brothers would call me a dip, but I didn't care," Jackson recalled. "They'd all tell me I was a goofball, but I still wore my white socks, and now it's cool again." Jackson's style influence continues today. Beyoncé's 2016 Super Bowl performance featured a military ensemble that was an exact replica of Jackson's 1993 Super Bowl outfit. Fashion houses like Balmain, Louis Vuitton, and Givenchy regularly reference Jackson's aesthetic in their collections. One of the most poignant pieces in Jackson's wardrobe was the pearl and bead-encrusted white military jacket he wore when Janet Jackson presented him with the Grammy Legend Award in 1993. It was Michael's favorite, and according to Bush and Tompkins, it was the outfit he was laid to rest in. These weren't just costumes. They were armor for a man who understood that image and artistry were inseparable. Every crystal, every patent, every impossible design element served Michael Jackson's ultimate goal: to create magic that the audience could see but never quite understand. In transforming himself into a visual icon, Jackson proved that sometimes the most powerful stories are told not through words, but through the clothes we choose to wear.